Okay, so you have shot an interview. You need to put it on the server in the latest footage, turn in here, and you're going to start working with it. So you need to make a folder. So the latest interview that's been turned in is the College Readiness Room. So there's a folder called College Room. Once you do that, you make a new project in Premiere and save it here, College Readiness 1119. And then you're going to import the footage. From there are two ways to do it. If your shot needs work, you want to pull it in and work on it first. So this shot could use better framing, so I'm going to just click on this, Effects Controls, scale it up, position it over. Since she's looking at the camera, she needs to be centered. Okay, maybe move her head up. Okay, and now that shot looks good. So what I did from there is I went in and split out the questions. And now I'm going to go through and listen for quotes. Meanwhile, you got to decide, are you going to be writing some interlude between the script, or are you just using the interview itself? So either she could do all the talking, or you could do some of the talking leading into her talking. So either way, we are going to go find College Readiness Package. Instructions. Here's our script so far. So having listened, here's what she's talked about. And the bullet points represent what shots we might want to get for B-roll or include in the titles. So I'm just going to see what I got here.
So the purpose of the College Readiness Room is for...
So I want to trim out the we don't need that.
So the purpose...
We don't need the so either.
Of the College Readiness Room is for all students, seniors, and juniors to come in to work on college applications if they need help registering for SAT or ACT. Also, if they want to look for scholarships or work on the financial aid application that they need for college. We also, the room is also very if they just want to talk about like what the college experience is like what majors there are to study. Like if they're not sure what they want to study, they can always come to A1 to the College Readiness Room to study and to talk about like what options there are for each student.
Okay, so all that sounded good, not too many ums. It explains the room. We could leave that all as one clip, but here's the stuff that we may want to put as B-roll because, again, we don't want to stare at her for 30 minutes as she kind of shifts back and forth trying to figure out what she wants to say. Instead, we want some shots over it. So here's our next clip.
Usually the best time to come by is either during their first, second, or fourth period, just because like me and Mr. Hill go to the cafeteria every through the lunch period. So that's, I believe, the third period of each day. That's where we can have more access to students. They can come to us, ask questions about like college, like if they want to sign up, they can let us.
We don't need to hear about when she goes to lunch, so I just cut that, trimmed that out. I'm going to move this next to this.
Second or fourth period, that's where we can have more access to students. They can come.
Okay, I can get rid of the
Fourth period, that's where we can have more access to students. They can come to us, ask questions about like college, like if they want to sign up, they can let us know. So our availability is usually during the second and fourth period.
Okay, so she had said that at the beginning, so I'm just going to trim that off. So that's a nice succinct way of saying when to come. Now, when is usually an end of interview thing, so I'm just going to move this to the back. And let's make sure this flows well.
In our fourth period, that's where we can have more access to students. They can come to us, ask questions about like college, like if they want to sign up, they can let us know. So,
okay. I just need to end that at let us know. It jumped around to the beginning. It will do that if you have a clip at the very end and it ends it. Okay, so I just need to get rid of the so at the end. And you can see I'm scrubbing along the bottom for zooms.
If they want to sign up, they can let us know.
Okay, that's nice. Now, I've listened to that. Let's check out this.
We also try to help out students if they're on free reduced lunch. We help them out with the fee waivers, fill out the college applications, register for the SAT, ACT if they want to take it one or two times. We also provide assistance with applying for FAFSA or TASFA, which is the financial aid for each student that they have to apply for to get funding from the government to pay for college.
This is more of what they do, so this can go along with this. You could trim out the uhs. You might want to wait until you get some B-roll to do that, but that's going to go right next to that, her talking about more that they do. So here's another part.
Attention a lot of my students, so this is why I love my job. I like to help them out, make sure that...
Wait a second, I missed it.
I really see potential in a lot of my students, so this is why I love my job. I like to help them out, make sure that they can apply to any school, even if you're like...
So listening to it twice, I couldn't understand really what she was saying. I love my job is great. Seems like it's coming out of nowhere. We could get shots of her enjoying her job.
And so this is why I love my job. I like to help them out, make sure that they can... I love my job.
But we'll start it at I love my job if we wanted to do that.
I love my job. I like to help them out, make sure that they can apply to any school, even if you're like not sure if like you're like, if I have students who are like, oh, I'm not sure if I qualify for this, I try to help them out as much as I can. So I really hope that I really see all my students going to college. Would it be like 2 years or 4 years, or even if they decide to go into military branch or just straight into the workforce, I see a future for all the students excelling.
Okay. That has some uhs and stuff. I don't want to mess with that. It can be trimmed down. So I'm going to change this. Label it. It needs some trimming. It doesn't match, so I'm trying to change the label to something. Let's just change it to forest. Okay. I have this one red because it seemed like I might not even want that, but let's listen to it and see.
Because everything like college applications, you require like transcripts. You have to send your transcripts and your SAT scores. Once you submit an application for financial aid, the FAFSA or TASFA, they require like the parents' income. So it depends on what they want to start working on or what application they want to start working on. The materials vary depending on what they want to work on.
Okay. So I can tell here she's answering a question about what materials they would need to bring. So this one, if we are going to use it, it wouldn't flow straight into the rest of them, so we'd have to script it. So I'm going to put a note here, green, trim down, red, use, need to script into it. If I were to script into red, I might say, I might put the red behind the blue. Okay, let's label this too. Okay, I'm going to label this purple. Okay, because it seems like it might fit after the times. So, college readiness room is available through much of the day for students to visit. And then we're going to lead to the purple clips. To transition from the purple, she was just talking about the times that come. Now we're going to go to the red, materials. So I'm going to go red, materials. Okay. So script. And then if we're going to have a script, we need to have a script to lead into the blue as well. So I'm going to do blue as purpose. Okay, so we might say MHS provided the college readiness room to help students have more access to college information. You can find it we talked to whatever her name is about its purpose. You could just say that. Okay, and then you got purpose. So basically, all the bold stuff is what the reporter is going to record. And then the clips are where they come in. So now you can see how it's coming together. Red materials. So we got to lead into that. The readiness room is full of resources. However, you may have to bring a few items depending on what your need is, goal is with the room, with the visit. Okay, something like that, and that will lead into the red materials. It could use a wrap-up sentence. It would be great to record this right outside the readiness room. So remember, this is available here at MHS if you want to stop by. I'm with Skeeto Bite News. Okay, so here's our script. It could possibly use some edits. These will be bumped together after you have the script recorded in the middle, but should look pretty good in the end. We'll need to add her thirds, but that's how you do it. You review, you try to list what it is. I'm going to just put reporter, record on camera, outside readiness room. And then we can add that video in, and it'll hopefully look good. So we just need other shots. Pan of readiness room. Students using readiness room. Student with papers. Student talking to this lady. Okay. I don't know her name. Hopefully it's on the recording with spelling and title because it's going to need to go up in lower thirds. If not, that's something that needs to be tracked down.